That lovely hairstyle. Maybe I should just overdo it. Still waiting for YouTube to connect. There we go. YouTube is connected. This one. 1, 1, 1, 2. I should get the Discord happening. Okay, let's go. Probably switch to this. Okay, where was I? Probably switch to this. I don't want to hear myself. Go away. How's the battery going? It's going alright. I'll start talking more about what I'm doing in just a sec, guys. Stream manager. Congratulations, you have. Oh, we'll do an update apparently. Welcome to the chat. Kill. Maybe that'll help me keep track of people. That's what it's supposed to do. Right. A little bit. Okay. Welcome to the stream. This is episode 3 of our Beginner's Guide series. I should have a good hour, hopefully, where I get to get in some good leveling and some good farming. We're ready to go. A few things to talk about. First, we just reached 39 followers as of yesterday, which is really cool. Our goal is 50 followers, because that'll make us available for affiliate status with Twitch, which will open up a whole heap of new avenues. And really, I mean, for me, it's just a testament to people who are interested in Requiem and interested in me streaming Requiem. And I think that's just really cool if I can get 50 followers from just playing Requiem. I haven't gotten followers from playing any other game. I don't ask my family and friends to follow me to boost my numbers or anything like that. So feel free to use the chat. I love reacting to people watching my stream, and I love helping people more directly. It adds a lot to the channel. We've changed a few settings. We've gone a bit higher in our encoder settings. We're one off from the best quality, and it's not affecting the frame rate. So that's good. See how that goes. I've been playing with my mic audio and desktop audio again. I really want the game to be audible, but at the same time not be too loud, because sometimes this game can be really loud due to certain effects or emotes. But anyway, enough of that. Let's begin. Alright, straight off the bat, new player's guide. When you get a ding dong and a mail little envelope up in the top right, that means that you've got something in your mailbox. That could be some system mail from a bug, something like that. I have had that. It could be you've sold something. It could be someone who's just sent you mail for whatever reason. Maybe they're just saying I love you. I know what that's about. We sold our items from last stream. Our 3-day login reward is some Lant, some auto vital waters. So we'll just accept that. Alright. Now, where was I? Let's go get that Lant. We were going to go out and... Oh... Nah, we'll get the Lant in a sec. Let's go finish these scroll quests. Because we can always portal away with our return skill. So yeah, if you guys want to use the chat at all, let me know if I'm too loud or if I'm not loud enough. I believe my quests are reindeer, ice crayfish, and more reindeer. Where's my fireball? There it is. Let's put that back where it belongs. I'll turn that down a bit. I don't like it. Don't want it to be too loud. Alright. Ooh, nice, a solid bracelet. The drop tables are better in Nightmare Crescent for accessories and gear in general. But as you can see, I was two-shotting most monsters in Turbo. In Crescent, it's taking a lot more effort. It's going to be funny if we die, because we're not used to paying attention to our HP. Our costume has expired. Alright. We're actually going to have to use kiting. Now, when you sit down outside of combat, you will get the most HP recovery. It's quite chunky at this level with the honor that I've got. And your mana will also recover at a complete rate. It's about half when you're running. And mana is about 1/3 when you're in combat. It's not 100% accurate, but it's all you really need to know because it's accurate enough. Ding dong. I'll do it later. Should be fine. Check those frames, looking good. Skills, we're going to keep increasing Fireball. Not going to increase Flamethrower yet. Might, but I might prefer Dura Amulet, Soul Explosion, Flame Arrow. Yeah, I think I gotta save the skills. Ooh, Crayfish is done, I just need lots of reindeer now. If you're struggling to... Yeah, the respawns are pretty slow here, and sometimes respawns work in such a way, I think in Crescent this is particularly true, where you'll kill it from where you found it, but it could have roamed from like all the way over here, so when it respawns it's all the way over there, or perhaps there's a limit to the number of respawns. And I've noticed areas in Crescent where if you clear all the mobs, sometimes the mobs really don't return for quite some time. So there's a forge on, that's in my YouTube, Twitch description of my video, so that's interesting. I was actually not expecting a forge at all. Damn, the XP's nice. I was not expecting a forge at all. So that's definitely going to change the stream up, but I was looking forward to the challenge being a little bit different and not being able to just plus 30 gear straight off the bat. But if forge is on, then we're gonna be using the forge. We're not just gonna pretend that the forge isn't on. It'll just make this playthrough a lot easier when it comes to forging. I don't think there's any other event. I actually have no idea why they turned forge on. Doesn't actually make sense. There's no event. If anything, it's a prelude to Valentine's. Ironically, the forge is better for reinforcing now than it was over Christmas, so that's sort of an in-game joke at the moment. It is possible to create really good accessories in the ordinary brackets, similar to this, with this stuff that you compound in the early areas of Nightmare Crescent. But I don't really bother with it because the forge rates are much more difficult for that gear, and you outlevel the levels where this will be relevant. The one up from this, the superness, is great as well, but is a little bit too good for below level 50, and you can just stick with your meditation, Dura, Solid, Lentus accessory sets in the meantime. Now we're back in Rondel. This is the transporter, or just mailbox as I call it. Now we sold the one accessory for 250k and 150k. You'll notice that I didn't get the full amount. That's because anything sold on AH takes, I believe, 5%. Takes 5% back. A little bit of land. I'm not gonna reduce all this gear anymore. It takes too long. It's faster to sell it. There is the TV on in the background, if you can hear that. That's the background noise. Frames are good, right? Cool. So we got the auto waters. They're basically a pot that automatically works as it's in its description. So when you get down to 50% of your HP, it'll automatically pop all that amount. There's no real cooldown on it, and works the mana as well. It's something that we're definitely gonna be able to take full advantage of at these low levels. We want our honor to get to over 100 so we can get 10 points into all the low stats. And we'll probably go for a little bit longer, depending on what we're farming. We'll keep leveling honor. I'm trying to remember, and this is exactly what the map's for. Just get a little bit lost here. You want to go down this little side alley here to get to the rest of the NPCs that matter at the moment. I'm looking for an auctioneer. There he is. Because we got some Lant now. So, like I said last stream, just drag it over here and copy and paste that into this box here. And there's one other person selling. So this is what you want to do when there's a really cheap and you want to sell your thing. Okay, this is a little bit of marketing tactic. We're going to buy that bracelet, not that we need it. But we don't want it on AH. We don't want competition. And we're going to sell this for 250. Someone's going to buy that. Someone might even buy it if I sold it for 1,000,000 land. And that other one that I get, I'm going to put that up here as well. Now, meditation. There is no meditation. That's unfortunate. Dura. We got lots of Dura, but it's all belts and necklaces, so I can't buy that. The armor set that you're going to want to go for is a level 20. The earliest thing you can get. Master it. I haven't played with that box much. And then just write Ion. 2020 and Ion. And you'll get exactly what you're looking for. And it looks like it's pretty easy to get. It's all here. Now this gear is a lot like all the other gear in the game, only it has really good scaling stats. So you don't get long range defense, which isn't a problem because there's literally only one monster, I believe, in all of the first 50 levels of the game that uses long range attack damage. It'll actually give you more short range defense than its counterparts. It also gives you +1 to con, intelligence, and mind all in one for the mage set. You don't need to, as a mage, wear the mage set. You can wear the melee set. It still comes with mind and con. And it'll be better armor. So some could even argue that it's better because of the HP that you'll get versus looking at the mana. You get mana instead. You'll get a little bit more damage from running the mage's version of the set. It's Frezia, or it's how do we pronounce this? Crentium. Crentium or Frezia. And this is pretty well it until level 35, so we don't have a lot of Lant, and we're not level 20, so I'm not going to buy this stuff. 35 million Lant. Why is that selling for 35 million Lant? Okay. I'm just contemplating whether I actually buy something. You could, if you didn't know what you were looking for, maybe just put in weapon and 1 to 15. And you get this sort of stuff. And you might be like, oh, I want this, whatever this is. And you could get it. Or you could farm it, and I could show you where to farm it. It's very interesting how little there is in the early game. We're going to have to farm. Okay. Where was I? Simple Xeon. Simple. Alright, this is the first thing we wanted to do with our Lant. And it looks like it's overpriced. Dang it. I need more Lant. Another neat little trick is you might go and check if you're... Oh, you don't have to do it this way. Hey, an earring. I don't need an earring. Just gone up. Or has it? Okay. Let's spend our Lant now. Because we can't buy the simple Xeons that we want. I'm just gonna have to accept that. Let's get a headband while we can. That tends to be the harder of the two to buy. Plus there was only one around. There's couple gloves down here, but it looks like the cheapest one is 60k. K is a term we use in the game for 3 zeros, so 6k would be 6,000. We go KK, that's a million. KKK, that's a billion. Alright. We can buy some shoes. Still got a bit of a lance. Enough to buy this and that. Cool. We just bought, and with only 2 accessories sold, we just bought our entire armor set for level 20. And even if we don't, the armor set, once it's plus 30, could carry us to level 50. You don't need to make a different set past level 20. So we'll grab all of that. I wonder if the Twitch will pick up on the music in the background and ban my audio. Copyrighted music. Now we're going to put this stuff in the bank for now. A, so we don't confuse it and delete it by accident. And B, because we're just not level 20, so it doesn't matter. Alright, where is that alleyway? Over here. Last thing we're going to do is sell this bracelet that we bought for a fraction of the price. Cool. Alright. For now, only because of culture. Alright, we are back in the desert. Old Rimmer Desert. Oh, another setting that we changed, we increased the brightness of our game. I didn't like how dark it was when I was rewatching bits of the stream. Nice. We're just dropping off those scroll quests that we did in Nightmare Crescent. It's pretty insignificant. The Lant's pretty good for an early game. If you remember last stream, I think we went through about 30k's worth of Lant in 3 hours, and that was a lot. That was a lot for us. That's a weird echo that we got. It's almost Nightmare, that's awesome. We can do Invertos. We haven't got the scroll quest or anything for him, but it still helps to progress this quest. Keeps things interesting for me as well, rather than just farming the one thing all the time. And if we're lucky, we'll get something that we can put into our future weapon. I'm just going into Battlefield, so there's an icon down here, it brings up the window, checking it, and it's like, okay. So what I do, and it's nice to be on this team, so I really want to run around dying for 10 minutes on stream for some points. 97, 97. Not really. Okay, so 9 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. What I do is I set up a timer. Set timer for 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, 9 minutes, 30 seconds.
Sweet. Oh wait, I'm not level 24. Okay. I didn't think that one through. That's gonna happen. I can get rid of that now. When you're level 24, there's a daily quest. Pause. Alright, back to the chat. Can you stop falling? Stream marker added. Didn't know I pressed anything. I did press something. Alright, when you get to level 24, there's a daily quest for Battlefield, and it can really help quite a bit if you're a new player, because all you really need to do is join at the last second. It's easy enough to predict once you've entered the battlefield like I just did then. You can join at the last second and, you know, 50-50 coin flip, unless you want to guarantee it. Ooh, nice. You can join at the last second and possibly get a free daily reward, which will boost your points. You can also play properly and get contribution and get points that way. It'll be very important for some of our gear progression, as well as potentially a device for making a lot of lamp really fast. But right now I really believe that the best thing to do is to hang out here, farm reds, and get yourself 100 reds, maybe 2. Maybe an Atma, if you're lucky. You might get some earrings as well. It's all based around the level. It's probably all I'll get next to maybe a bracelet. I can also get a compression Xeon, that would be nice.
In her late 80s, she's decided it's finally time to part ways. Especially for Common Park, I think the average membership around this
If you're gonna farm, if you're gonna grind, if you're gonna do this, you might want to just play a YouTube video at this point. Or maybe watch me in Twitch. Do the same thing, lol. But yeah, a lot of this game is farming. A lot of this game is grinding. Even in Battlefield, most people aren't playing to kill and to win. They're playing to get points at the moment. Hopefully that changes the more people acquire all the assets. What are you going to do when you run out of stuff to grind? You're going to either play the game or quit or mindlessly keep grinding? Like, I don't know. For me, the best part of the game is playing Battlefield and, you know, having good battles, having good fights.
There was a last-minute bidding frenzy for New South Wales 1 before the talking. It's one of long medals to number 1. Queensland's Q1 broke the record for a 2-digit plate, selling for 5.6 million.
What?
Biggest country music festivals in its final.
Honey, let's make a number plate and sell it.
Can't just be any number plate.
Yeah.
On some elections based on
That's like buying URLs that aren't in use, so you own the name to a URL. And if somebody comes along and says, I really want that URL, they have to buy it from you, legally.
Fair, I love country music festival too, even if I don't like country music.
You like music festivals. You like music festivals.
Not really.
You like... I know, but there is...
The only reason I like the country music festival is because it's like they section off, I think, 3 blocks of one of the main streets in Tamworth.
Yeah.
And that's not including the original back towards west.
What's next?
It's an Indian dish.
Okay,
Indians fucking created it.
slight
As far as I'm fucking aware.
slight correction from last stream. I was opening the quest and what I was showing was covered up by my camera, so I'll just move the window across. If you want to look up, you want to, what have I selected? Where is he? Oh, he's behind the tree. If you want to look up quests, you open the quest window over here, you click available, and you've got a 20 level limit, and you can look up any quest that you don't already have in the game and grab them straight from here.
Australia's most loved cheese.
I thought Korean was.
Mm. They're all gonna say
Oh,
that.
sorry, that's not politically correct anymore.
They're all gonna say that about themselves, honey.
It's cheer here. Good roll, everyone.
Is she okay? No, she's probably fine. That's handy. This is our first Zenobia coin. It's not really relevant later in the game, but you can luck out and get a 1000 stack of Xeons. Later in the game you can get Supernus, Exodus, and so on.
Golden creamy butter chicken, the takeaway favourite.
Just a bit louder all of a sudden.
Most famous exports
Why did I listen?
nearly 80 years ago. But just who came up with the recipe is going from a kitchen to the courts.
Why?
The descendants of these men are in the culinary knife fight. The pair worked together in Delhi in the 1940s. Their families have since opened their own eateries and both claim to have created the original butter chicken. The argument has now reached the Delhi High Court.
Recipes are very valuable so people have full ideas to their arts.
Passed down proudly through generations.
While the world is loving it, in India a battle has erupted.
The legal fight has India talking about which dynasty should be crowned the butter chicken creator. Honey butter chicken. Restaurant Moti Mahal believes they invented the dish and is suing Dahlia Argant, who trademarked the tagline "Inventors of Butter Chicken" in 2018. The next court hearing is in May. I was not expecting it to become
Fair enough.
because the question now is who invented the butter chicken. The fight expected.
Hey,
to be
Narod.
spicy.
Welcome back to the stream.
But how pathetic. Who fucking cares who invented the fucking shit?
Some people apparently. How have you been, Narod? Good, good to hear. We're gonna see what we get from this coin. If we're super lucky and naturally being a beginner, that would be great. Most of the time you get one. I'm doing a beginner's guide. Beginner's guide, I'm playing Shaman. This is part 3. We've done 3 stream. This is our 3rd stream now. I'm currently heading over to Ellerim of Stone Pit so I can farm some nightmare monsters. Mostly just for the quest, but there is some good items that we could get that will help. This is a new account. I've got no honor, got no Lant other than the Lant that I've made so far. And it's just a general run through the game up to like level 50 for new players. So there's actually something out there for new players to look into. Oh, we have a scroll quest here too, eh?
Downstairs, upstairs is full of games. This is where you can play every game in the franchise. And if you've experienced what me, you still got the original copy. You've got the new stuff, you've got the old stuff. We're getting secret tapes around that. So you've got those, and you've got everyone else. You never know who you might play. So much on television. Who would play it incessantly? He's not the only one. In 7 years. Yeah, all your numbers in this skateboard and you're always good for a long time. Also, 50 years or so. So you're on tricks on a long board. And you've got a million tricks on it. Actually,
What's the time? Half an hour. It's been half an hour since we started the stream. Apparently my bedtime is in half an hour. We'll see. We just got another accessory, that's going to be handy. Another accessory to sell. Might keep one of these staffs at some point. This one, level 15. I have been sick. I've been tired. Been worn out. Today is a day where I've had some catch-up sleep, but the night before was pretty shocking, and all the nights before that were pretty shocking when it came to the kids. So I'm running a little bit low on energy, but I'm still feeling motivated to keep coming back to this stream. Really want to put something out there. There hasn't been a guide on Requiem for at least 3 years, and a lot has changed for a new player. For example, you don't get costume anymore when you first make a character. You don't get that free costume. Costume helps quite a bit, especially if you don't know how to use the honor system. The honor system like this didn't exist 5 years ago, so if you're coming back after 5 years, yeah, you don't know to come looking. Yeah, there's no hints in the game. Hell, some people are going to be like, where's the possession beast? How do I get possession beast? Who's going to help me in Ruins of Lament? Other changes, all this gear that used to be level 5 is now level 15 and 20, and that really sucks. Thanks, Narod. You being here gives me a lot more energy than I had before you entered. Blah. My last stream, I was a lot more tired because that was the very last vestiges of my energy. Hooray! Silence is golden. Until we're gonna put something else on. A bracelet! Yes!
I can do it.
We don't have a bracelet, so that's awesome. That's gonna change things up. We haven't been getting any enchant. It's a very low drop chance for a weapon enchant from Nightmare Monsters, it would seem. They do drop though. And a little bit more luck will go a long way. But that's it for those nightmare monsters, so I'm quite happy to continue on. We're going to fight our way out of here, just in case we get something good. See, there we go, evidence. You can get weapon enchant. The one I really want to get is like a fire property damage one that literally just throws another fireball at your enemies, which is pretty handy. Fun fact, every area that is considered a zone, which you can see in some areas because the mini-map will change and it will say where you are and that's your zone. There's a different lighting to each zone. Sometimes there's weather effects. So this area, El Rimmer Desert, is El Rimmer Desert, and it's this area if I circle it for the most part. Perhaps a bit of this area too. Is different to El Rimmer Stone Pit, which is quite foggy, hence the pit. Crematory is its own area, and it doesn't match up with the map titles. See how it's brown, yellow, kind of... That normally is a pretty good indicator. We'll just go this way, actually. It's normally a pretty good indicator that that's a zone, but it's not always the case, and some of these areas turn out to be zones. And sometimes it's neither, and it's called something completely different. There's an area later in the game called Trifree, and it says on the map, I can bring that up at least, Trifree Plains. There is no Trifree Plains, it doesn't come up as Trifree Plains. You exit Trifree, it says Trifree Village, I believe. And it has its own little theme music and ambience to go with it, where you can hear the river running in the background. Quite nice. Alright, we'll drop these scroll quests off. We came here because we should be able to empty out our inventory the fast way, which I find the fast way is right click, left click. Small mouse movements. Otherwise you could bring it over like this and just drag. You can decide which way is better, or just mix it up as you go. How's our drop frames? We actually dropped frames at one point. Not a lot of frames. Interesting. That's true. I could level up in Strongest Battlefield. But we are... Can you remind me, Narod, whether we get honor XP from doing that?
Eh? One of my favorite YouTube chefs has made beef hello fudge.
Okay.
I need to watch this.
Go ahead. I'll explain what I'm up to in a minute. Just sell all this stuff first.
There's the problem right there.
Sugar, sugar, sugar.
400 grams.
No, I want that.
Even he said that's a lot of sugar.
Oh, that guy.
What?
I think I know who you're talking about when you say one of your favorite chefs. Is it the funny guy?
I have one.
Is it the funny guy?
Funny.
Funny guy, tall guy. Makes all kinds of weird old dishes. He's gay.
Oh no, not Dylan.
Alright.
He's not a chef. He's a cook.
He's not a
There's a
chef,
difference.
he's a cook. There's a difference.
Well, there is a difference.
Fair enough.
Chefs have gone to culinary school.
Actually, I have to go
cooks
over there.
not.
Oh well, we won't worry about that for now. Okay, we don't get honor from strongest. Okay, so there's an immediate problem. I need to get honor.
It is no way carnivore friendly.
If you've got to think of this as from the very start, No XP, no Lant, no good gear, nothing. Yes, I could do strongest, but at the moment, strongest has just gone by and Union has started. And although I did join a strongest not long ago, I'm not level 24, I can't get the daily quests. It is a great thing to do, farming the battlefields, but at a level that's this low, I think we could do other stuff to get good, and work on our immediate gear so we can get to Ancient Temple and go further from there. One way to play the game would be to just play Battlefield. But what are you going to do in the meantime when Battlefield is either Union or not running?
Got excited. It's not gonna make
And fighters, transports, dryland, and mutant cadavers. Cool. Now we're no longer interested in nightmare monsters for now, although they do drop really good XP.
She would have been better.
And he said, I spoke to a few so
We want just a little bit more honor, technically, but we're gonna keep getting XP, and honor from farming these monsters, and that would be Tuna. Tuna is back, god damn it. Okay, that's gonna make things more difficult. Seems to always log in around this time to farm. We want these breads. We want to be able to farm enough so we can sell them. And I think in theory you could sell a 100. But if you could farm up to 200, you could compound them together and sell a stack of something really good, like the crit chance ones or the skill crit chance ones. So we're just gonna have to compete with him for now, and make him less likely to keep this up. If I could one-shot them, that would be better, but so long as the first fireball, yeah, I don't need to one-shot them. I just need to hit them first. Go farm server versus server. You're a OP player pretending to be a farmer. No, not pretending. He's pretty good at what he does. Yeah, 50. We're halfway. Oh, you made a nice block out of it.
Yes.
It looks good, but will it taste good?
Well, the smoothie itself tastes good, so it should.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get the damn thing out. Callie, what are you doing? Put it off before the dirty everybody.
He gave it a good smell and probably thought that smells alright. Okay.
Makes sense.
There's no reason to suspect any concern because you have to have a resource for that. Janine was making area the problem with my son. And so we didn't expect any problems with this child.
On May 31st, 2000, Janine gives birth to a baby boy that she and Robert named Zachary.
He was a couple days early, and so he really is special birthday.
Just off like the other ones. Kind of isolating now.
Doesn't have the same level of creaminess, and that's kind of better.
I mean, it's probably got milk and a small amount of milk in it.
It's better because the texture's consistent, which is good.
This may exactly reach except for the fact that his head was a little bit larger than most babies. Probably 95% of babies. He is a little bit behind in his developmental milestones of
We don't want to level up anymore than 13 because the drop rate will go down and the XP will go down. It's already gone down for some of the monsters here. You want to stay within 2 levels of the lowest level monster. I am somewhat tempted to just continue on. I have talked about it. I have talked about reds, I've talked about farming this area, I've talked about the benefits. We can keep playing and keep getting reds at random until we've got enough. It might happen, especially if we do quests or farm ancient temple. Every accessory is a handy thing too. We really could keep going.
2 days later, the Townsley's had an appointment with the neurologist.
I don't know if you're still there, Narod, but I'm going to keep talking to you. I know I have 1 viewer. I talked about last stream, you can like go begging for Lant. Like, you know, you're a new player, you can go find some OP players and be like, oh hey, I could really use a hand, can I have some Lant? Can't use the teleporter, I'm stuck. And you'll probably find a handy player.
Because of Janine's family's genetic history, the neurologist suggests the Townsleys do some more genetic testing as a precautionary measure.
He said he wanted to go get a private social blood chromosome test.
A week later, Zach's blood is drawn and sent out for testing, while the Townsleys anxiously await the results.
We'll switch places. Keep it interesting.
Chromosomal issues, and once we heard that, we were assuming that, okay, everything's fine, it's not some kind of genetic issue. Over the next several months, Janine and Robert watch as Zach continues to make slow developmental gains.
Janine kept telling me every time.
Unfortunately, he's a overbuilt character. Overbuilt.
He was telling me about
It means crowd? I did not know.
You know, for a year and a half visit, it's walking, take a little bit, and you know, it's just learning to walk, take a little bit, don't worry about it. We'll straighten itself out. So, okay, don't worry about it.
But at 2 years old, Zach is still not where he should be. The family pediatrician.
I am still suspicious that Mr. Crowd over here is actually a robot.
Occupational therapist, physical therapist, and speech therapist.
A script. A clever AI, because he's never stopped farming. Never stopped. And just farms like
And he was making gains. He wasn't improving. He was just walking, he was getting
always farming
very used to it.
and seemingly like a clever AI or something.
Isn't making any progress at all.
I'm calling him Crowd because he told me that was what his name means in Russian. I wonder why he calls himself Crowd.
Instead of Mori, that was my favorite. And then instead of good night, good night. So he was like leaving off sounds here and there. Wasn't anything terribly alarming, but you certainly needed to know that.
The speech therapist continues to work hard with Zach, but he doesn't seem to be getting any better.
Oh, come
In a
on.
few more weeks, she begins to suspect.
It's one of the downsides to this game, and if you multi-client, you will notice.
She didn't feel he was hearing.
Yeah, let's switch this for now and actually start leveling up. I'm moving on from this area. Like I said in some of my previous streams, and I'm sorry if I've bored anybody by farming this area, it's just a really good idea for getting strong quicker.
Just to be sure.
My game is, this character's name is Cinderhawk, just cause, just a random name I could think of.
She says, hey, Mom, what do you think? You think so?
My main character's name is Kiri Lu, and that's how I say it.
I'm going to sacrifice doing with him. And I'm going to have some points, I'm going to give him a text. And he's not paying any attention to the noise. No. It's like it's not even. while they might just open the door and read it. Maybe you think we can hear.
Okay, so next is go kill some Blackhand fighters just cause we've got it on our to-do list. Conveyance Port is another one of those areas with its own music and ambience, as well as particular lighting. You can hear the ocean there, which is a nice touch. Ah, my real name. My real name is Sam, or Samuel. A common name, if you ask me. So, what I'm going to do with all these reds that are farmed, some of them are going to be really useful for compounding certain things in the early game, so it's good that we've got them. Others are going to be useful because we can just throw it at... We can just throw some of this stuff at our gear to make it a bit better, such as crit chance. You can throw a bit of crit chance around. Or better yet, you've got property damage. We've got 10, so that's handy. It's an extra 10 damage I could chuck into my fireballs. I can throw that onto armor, weapon, and ornament, so I can put it everywhere.
We'll fix these ears, and with that, we'll just begin to do it.
We've also got to remember to start saving the bullets for a another item that you can go over here. Gregory. Is that how it's pronounced? Because it looks to me like Gregory, but I know it as Gregory. Or shortly, Grishar. I always thought your name was Narod. It's nice to meet you too, Gregory. I think it's easier to say Gregory than Grishar.
In weeks following the surgery, Janine and Robert are made on Zach's progress.
Put the tubes in and it seemed to improve things.
We have 39 followers now, Narod.
Mortis speak.
It seemed to be hearing each other. His mouth seemed a lot better, and he spoke a lot more. And we were pretty convinced that this is...
I'm not sure if I'll do this Escaped Cadavers quest just yet. It's a awkward quest because it works the opposite way to Nightmare quests. You gotta wait till you've got the little sun icon. This is the moon icon, which tells you it's getting close to or just after Nightmare. That's when those monsters will appear during the day. It's not a big deal. You really don't have to do scroll quests. I've only done it in this playthrough because it's kept things a bit more interesting. And it teaches new players, you know, to look for scroll quests, to think about doing scroll quests, because later, scroll quests help a lot with the extra XP you need to level up, especially if you're a free-to-play player. Nice. Gregory Grishar.
As the months passed, Janine and Robert noticed Zach's initial improvement beginning to slow down.
I'll see if I can remember next time. Next time you drop into stream, you'll have to quiz me. Unless you'd prefer that I keep calling you Narod.
Frequently happens now. There's not too much speech. Yelping and that kind of thing. His wish is known. Yeah, is that where we want him to be? just said, like, pretty limited time. And tell him what's wrong with him.
Since he was born, doctors have assured Zachary
It's amazing how limited our gameplay is by the fact that we just don't have simple Xeons. We haven't gotten lucky, we haven't gotten a compression. It's probably a 0.1% chance for drop. We have got the Lant to get around now, but I'm not going to be online long enough to bother with a happy hour. Alright, I'm not going to bother with any more scroll quests. At least in Turbo. Well, really at all for a little while. I want to hold on to these. But I'll probably not get any more 2s. I'm pretty sure the Ion Energy 1s is for level 10, so this is for level 20, so I do technically need these, but if we're lucky, someone might be selling them on AH.
The pediatrician explains that though a basic genetic blood workup had been performed, the geneticist will need to thoroughly examine Zach and then decide what additional tests need to be run.
As soon as he said,
I don't know. Got a Wing Rider.
I was very scared because,
Gregory.
you know, there's always that thought on the back of your head. You know, well, this was wrong when we were fearing the worst. The Townsley's make an appointment with geneticist Dr. Paul Benke.
When saw us walking in the hallway as we were coming in, they looked at Sarah, and he said, that's what took you so long to get here. And I looked at Robert like, what does he know?
There's 2 buttons in the game. You can look everything like that up in the settings and change them to buttons you may prefer. Mine is this minus equals, and it shows your UI or hides it, shows your character or hides it. And that's what I pressed just then so I could get rid of everything. What it leaves behind is the textures, the map, and effects. So you'll see fire effects, you'll see the cursor, you'll see this thing, Wing Rider hologram, and the compass around my character apparently as well. You'll see that.
Right away, he knows this is a critical piece of information, but it's still too soon to make a determination. Next, Dr. Benke meticulously examines every inch of Zach's body.
Grisha. So now we're continuing on with Temporarian's Way. The last time we were doing this quest, we were over at Bivoke, so it takes you pretty naturally over to this oasis. This is where you'll be killing Bellymouth Crocs, which is these things. That's a Pez. You don't have to kill these lizards, these small sand lizards.
Zach's blood is drawn and sent off to the one country that tests for the disordered Dr. Benke suspects. It's very sinking knowing that there's something wrong with it.
Is it just me, Rihanna, or is it hot tonight? Okay, it feels hot.
There's always that small chance of it's
Nice. Grisha. And Gregory. Gregory? I just say Gregory. We do have that name in Australia, but not Grisha.
For development delays and exhibit this physical characteristics. These accounts are engineered or told time and time again not to worry. But when Genesis told Mickey needs
Alright, we got to level up.
there's a serious
Click this flag and see that there is no quests for level 14. That doesn't sound right. You can always check really quickly like that. But there is exactly no quests. So, this is still it. We're two-hitting all these monsters. And we're really only running, like, a few accessories. Nothing's maxed out. It's really just the honor, the DNA.
I said, with Mrs. Townsend. I said, yes.
The skill points.
I thought we didn't expect anything. We were expecting you to tell me that everything is fine. That's what every doctor has ever told me. Is that everything's fine and overbearing me.
Despite the other doctor's assurances that stuff is fine, the results confirm what Dr. Biggie suspected from permanent loadings on Zach. They revealed Zach had another syndrome.
Really?
Your syndrome is an extremely rare genetic disease in which the body lacks the enzyme that breaks down the sugar molecule called mucopolysaccharides, which is found in cells, nerves, and joint lubricating fluid. Without the enzyme, the sugar molecules build up in
I suppose it is. It does sound a little bit shorter because Gregory is 1, 2, 3, and Grisha is 1, 2. Gregory in Australia, we would probably just call you Greg for short. Do you ever get called Greg?
Zach's protruding spine and hearing problems were also caused by the excess sugar molecules. Mucopolysaccharides still remain hearing. Hunter's is caused by a defective X chromosome. Women can be hearers, but men are the ones affected.
The way it works is that mommy has two X's. Daddy has either the X or the Y. And I have one good X.
Don't worry. The DNA and the skill points that I am running for this character, the idea is to get a skill reset at the 50-day login. So everything that I'm doing is to get me closer to one-shotting these low-level monsters and help me get to stuff like Ancient Temple and Farm. It would be a mistake. Normally, if you were not to rely on skill reset, I would say 1 point into Fireball, 1 point into Wound Care, 1 point into Mana Amulet, and 1 point into Flamethrower, and that's only because that's filler for Soul Explosion, First Aid, Dura Amulet, and yeah, Flame Arrow. These are the skills that you actually want, and potentially as a Mystic later in the game, whereas everything else just 1 point. No, it's not no point. If we go over here, our Vindictive Mind is giving us 9 extra damage. Oh, our second coin. This is the opposing coin, so you get the Xeon coin and you get Lant. If you're really lucky, you'll get a 3 million Lant. It's not a very reliable way of getting Lant. We only got the 1000, which is not too bad, really. No, I wouldn't put any points into Vindictive Mind if I was, like if this was my endgame build, but on your 50-day login, you can get a free skill reset anyway. You can buy a skill reset later in the game if you decide to buy Item Mall, or you can just buy it from players of Lant if you can go get rich. This is the strategy. This is my strategy. Personally, I think it's not hard to log in every day for the daily login. Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to be fighting. This is about PvE, that's all. You're absolutely right. Resistance would take that down to like less than 2 damage. But I do believe, and I'll just have to do some more tests to prove it, I do believe that property damage works like skill critical additional damage. So this is applied after resistance and after block or anything like that. Not that block matters, but this is applied after resistance, so it's pure damage. So it is a guaranteed 9 extra damage. But I can't prove that right now. But I'm fairly sure. I need to do some tests and make some videos so I can make it extremely clear. Because I'm either right or I'm wrong. All done. Now we can drop our quests off. And do a bit of forging, because we're gonna grab this if I didn't do it already. I'm gonna move our location to here. Handy for the fact that there's a forge right here. Yeah, it's not something a lot of people know, so that's what I think. I do want to confirm it. Me and Fury have been testing quite a lot lately. Another level up. Stats, mechanics, we've been looking at old Wikipedia forums. How do you check? You would check by, see this item here, how it's fire property damage, just 1. You could get like a, something that doesn't have anything on it. The main thing you want to do is you want to remove the variant. So see how this is 72 to 75? That will make it awkward to check the variants. So you're gonna want to use the test of dummies or something like that in Nova Lux, or potentially use a character of your own and hit your own character and have like the minimal resistance and the minimal everything to calculate, and then you'll just put the item on and the item will purely give you some fire damage, and then take the item off and it should take away that damage. And you could try that on a max resistance character and then on a tested dummy, and hopefully like you'll see, you know, a very clear, you know, oh, it added 10 damage, cool, it took away 10 damage, that's consistent. And if it works on the high resistance character, you know it's pure damage. I believe that's the case. You might even find it doesn't apply at all and it's completely useless. The main thing that makes it hard to test is literally just the magic attack power being a minimum maximum, because that means there's a roll between those two numbers, and that exists because of this wand. See, 46, 46. So if you can find a weapon that has like you can find a weapon that has like 1/1 magic damage, that would be handy. Maybe a knuckles or something like that. Maybe a sword. Something that lets you throw fireballs. Otherwise, you've got to take that into account and still look for the actual values. So that's how I'd test it. I'm just not around. I haven't gotten around to it yet. Alright, that's our nightmare quest out the way. So at level 15, you get a few more quests that push you towards the gutters. Again, I don't think there's any point really doing the gutters. I think it's probably just a waste of your time. I'll probably try to do it once I beef up my gear a little bit. And we don't need that final bag quest because we've already got... You can't return this bag quest. Once you got 5 bags, that's it. For free to play. I probably should be reducing, Probably could have done this playthrough a little bit better. So you can check by accessories, level 90 from Doom Cherish, that give fire damage on full resistance character enemies. Yeah, you should be able to. Or you can enchant, like I suggested with like this, and just put that into an accessory and check it that way. Even if it's not true, I have checked it when I start the game. I hit something with a fireball and it's like, boom, does 10 damage. I grab Vindictive Mine and then it's doing 15 damage. And it's just very clear that I'm doing extra damage against the early mobs in the game. And I think in the first 20 levels of the game, every little bit of damage counts because you don't rely on crit chance like we do later in the game. Any damage is good damage when you just start the game. Alright, this bracelet is going to be the simplest thing to fluff up, so we'll do that.
It's temporary. Within hours of being discharged, the violent vomiting begins again. And over the next 2 weeks, Danielle falls into a grim routine.
It was pretty much in and out of the emergency room every single time. They would get me to stop vomiting for about 4 hours with IV medications. They would think that I'm better and I'm not going to vomit anymore, and they would send me home with oral medications.
3 more.
Didn't work for me.
Now, after 3 straight weeks, the vomiting has wreaked havoc on Danielle's body.
After all the vomiting and all the force.
As you can see, Forge is pretty handy for these low-level accessories. We should be able to make everything past 30 if we're really determined.
Okay, I'm just waiting to
There will be a risk of breaking things.
weeks with no answers in sight.
I'm not too worried about breaking things.
First meeting with the gastroenterologist, he admitted me to the hospital for a weekend to take care of me and to do some more tests, and they stopped the vomiting for the whole weekend.
The gastroenterologist wants to get a clear look at Danielle's digestive tract, so he decides to perform a colonoscopy, a procedure that allows the doctor to look at the inside of Danielle's colon.
Because you have 1 fire damage, Leon. You have random damage. That is impossible. You can check, but what you want is to have as little variance between your damage as possible. If it's just 3 different, the damage is 3. Like, that damage is standard.
My primary care physician referred me to the surgeon.
So it'll do that 37. It'll do the DNA amount, 37. So that's 37 plus 37. That is 74. So it'll do 74 damage, and then it'll add my magic damage, which is either 82 or 85. It'll put a roll in there between them. It's only 3, so if I added 10 fire damage to my character, or 100 fire damage to my character, although there's a small random amount of damage that'll make it a little bit weird to look at, there'll still obviously either be 100 extra damage or 10 extra damage, with a small, plus minus 2 or 3. So it is doable. You'll be able to see a trend that'll give you the information that you need. It can be really awkward testing stats in a game like this when there can be complications. And yes, it would be good to test it on a full resistance character to see if the resistance works or if it's pure damage.
This was finally the light at the end of the it is just like
So 37, 37, we said that was 74 plus our magic damage, 74 plus 85. 74 plus 85, so max damage is 159. Hit this gropey, 198. So why is that? Did I miss something? 198.
I was able to do many things I wanted to do, and everything seemed to be going really well.
I might be able to log my other account to check, but I'm just focused on this account for now. For the newbies watching me later on YouTube, because these videos are quite permanent, We did the Oasis, and then Temporian's Way asked us to keep going through Cargo Field, and it'll let us check out Zacate soon, although I know we've flown through there before to get to Rondel.
We really didn't know.
I'll check one day, but either way, it's more important for a new player, this sort of bonus damage. I still wouldn't recommend in an endgame build Vindictive Mind.
This time with the surgery, I wasn't as worried. I just was more fed up than anything. Just do whatever you have to do.
Now, we haven't used our pet, not once, we just keep forgetting it's there, so before we got a Model X at level 10, you can summon it, and it'll last for 3,600 seconds, which is a long time. And you can set it to different modes, so in aggressive it'll just attack monsters that are nearby on its own. There are different hotkeys, you can look up the hotkeys and change them if you will. I believe I've changed my hotkeys. My hotkeys are like left alt A is an attack command, so I've just asked it to attack that monster, and it'll go attack on its own. It's really handy to have because, you know, as you can see, I can send my pet out, pull it back, and then it comes to me. This is really good for a melee character who can't pull monsters with fireballs. So if you're playing a defender or a warrior, it can be really useful, especially mid-game.
At this point, I was losing way too much weight. My gastroenterologist decided to put in.
Why am I saying Temporion?
To help feed me.
Well, that's how I've always said it. Temporion. I think it's Temporion. Temporion? I don't know. That's how I've always read it. I could be very wrong. It could be an English thing. Temporion.
Surgeries had worked and all the tests were coming back negative. The doctors started to think it was all bad. They had asked me if you used to throw fingers together or throw or you snicker stuff throw up.
The things you don't know about yourself. So you could use Knuckles, and that's like, it's just one damage. One magic damage of randomness. Back to that thing. Interesting with the... I mean, I calculated 159, 74 plus 85. But I didn't put in the plus 9. Plus 9. 168, which is not 190 something. There could be yeah, it could be a hidden bonus somewhere that I'm not aware of. Because that's not unusual. Some things don't appear in the character window. Fury's been testing a few things, and some things don't. Just simply don't appear in the character window.
When, after 8 weeks,
37 plus 37.
and 2 surgeries, doctors tell her
Vindictive Mind. 5 and 7. 5 and 7 plus
Was in disbelief.
2 is the 9, so that's correct.
Danielle refuses to give up, and instead travels 30 miles to Yale University Hospital, hopeful that the doctors there will do the work.
I think it might be stuff like intelligence. I'm pretty sure intelligence...
They were concerned right away because
Fury mentioned something about it.
they knew something had been going on.
I will
with
check.
me. We explained the story, and they were saying, we are going to find out what is wrong with you. And they
Okay,
just-
so he checked and wrote to me saying that intelligence, every 1 intelligence adds 0.3 magic damage, but he noted that this information does not appear in the character information window, but it is applied.
They weren't finding anything
So,
wrong whatsoever.
Danielle's attending physician
we can check our intelligence out over here. We have 107,
is clearly so sick.
so
The physician brings in
168. 107. What's the formula again? 0 point times by 0 point 3, 32. 100 plus 100. 168 was it? It's 200. Huh. There you go. It gives magic damage, but it doesn't show it in the character menu. When I hit this and I get 197, well, I'm supposed to do 200.1. And if I look at the creature's magic resistance, it should be something like 7.63. Which we could do the math on. If I do the same thing here, I think, what is it? Sorry if I'm doing bad math, it'll come back to me. Been a while since I've been in school. That'll make it go up, and I don't want it to go up. So, is it 1.0? No, that's not quite right. But I get what I'm doing. I'll just read it the other way around. 15, so go back the other way, it's like 15. 200 minus 15 could be 185. 200. I mean, that time it did exactly 200. We're getting close. We're getting close to understanding all the stats there. Then it's just testing the property damage out. Need to kill some golems now. At this point, I'd just run towards Sakate, because this quest is going to want us to enter Sakate when we're done. Because I was, sorry for not explaining as I was going, but I was applying my total stats as 1 was 0.3, so I multiplied my 100 and something intelligence by 0.3. Since that's my intelligence, multiplied by 0.3 gave me the magic damage bonus that I was that I was supposed to have. I tend to do a lot of my math really fast and not look into it too much. But I do know that I need to sit down and actually look more closely at it sometime. That's not something I'll do in a stream though, because I'll just embarrass myself. Especially when I'm this tired. Alright. 3 is more rightly. If I did 3, then it would be 10 times higher in value than what I want to find. I could do 3, but I'd have to divide my max stat, my intelligence stat by 3, and then like we'll get the same result. So 107 divided by 3, and then it's not working in my mind. That's why I don't want to do math right now. It's 107 multiplied by 0.3. Because that's the magic damage you get. You don't get 1 magic damage. It sent me backwards. You don't get 1 magic damage per intelligence. You get 0.3 magic damage per 1 intelligence. Why did it throw me into a wall? That was weird.
I really believe that I even still be in the hospital. It just felt like it was just one big circle, and I just keep going back and back.
Just a year later, Danielle's
It's like table. She needs to kill us.
Sell all the monster drops that we're not going to reduce. Like we were getting some bullets, which is really good. Ion energy. We'll reduce the rest of it. I've got a little bit of Lant. Now we've already checked everything in the option.
Doing anything, swimming, anything that I love to do. I'm just able to do it
And it feels so good.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. 107. I don't know. That's how it's working in my brain at the moment. Just, you've got 107 intelligence, you get 0.3 magic damage per intelligence, so it's 107 times 0.3, and that's the bonus magic damage. I might have written 35.6, I don't know. But I can't remember already that kind of detail. I gotta write everything down when I'm doing testings. I'm surprised I could keep up with 3 or 4 values at once. Okay, so if you've checked AH for anything that you're particularly looking for and you come back to it, don't worry about looking everything up individually again. You know what's there. Just have a quick look at the first 2 or 3 pages until you're pretty sure there's nothing. See? Or you find something that you're selling. Let's put our stuff up for sale. And if nobody's selling what we want to sell, we will sell our stuff for a reasonable amount. Yeah, that'd be fine. It's you could say it's 1 damage by 3. It probably is 0.333333, etc., not just 0.3, but it might have just rounded it up or something like that. You have to do more in-depth testing to be absolutely sure of those values, and I didn't do the testing. This is just what Fury messaged me about his tests that he's done. But it's 1 intelligence adds roughly, in his own words, roughly 0.3 magic damage. So it's not 3 magic damage. But you could write it as 1 damage per 3 intelligence. But it was a lot easier for me to just write 107 intelligence multiplied by 0.3. It was just easier. Let's sell our reds. Let's sell some of them. Maybe we'll just sell them. Maybe someone will buy into it. So when it comes to looking up reds, I would go consumption, enchants, and then I'd just write Xeon. And you're gonna get this meth, so maybe go to grade and click consumption, because it's in the consumption, I think. For sure. Yep. This is all we have at the moment. And this is the sort of thing we want to do. We want to sell a chunk for like 20 million land. Oh, or if you had 1,000, that would be really great as well. There is nothing in the game right now. Yes, 0.3, not 3. So we want to sell ours for a fraction of what's going on here. So we've got 1,000 mined for 70 million. We'll just round that up. So hopefully my brain can quantify this. So we'll just divide this by 1,000, which you might immediately see in your mind. But they're selling theirs for 70,000 per Xeon. Hence the 70 million for 1,000. So 70,000, multiply that by 50. 3,500,000. So this 50 should be worth 3,500,000. The only problem is I don't think anybody would buy it because it's such a small amount. So we have to make it more
Completely silent.
enticing, and someone might just want to top up their Xeons or something like that because just because like the only way this is going to sell at this small amount is if we sell it for like 1 million, and even then it probably won't sell. So I'll sell my mind as well for half of that. I'll sell my physical damage because I don't need that. No, I do. Awkwardly enough, I do need it for early game nucleuses. I'll sell my dexterity for 300. I'll sell my accuracy exams for 400. And anything else? No, that'll probably do for now. And then I really can't see anybody actually buying it, but we had to cut our losses and move on. Plus, it was pretty boring for me to stop and farm that area. If you farmed it for maybe 3 hours and you didn't have any anybody else in the way, then you probably you'd probably manage to get 100 plus red Xeons and maybe an infinity Atma.
Just to make sure that people took practice on
Reduction. Okay, let's reduce all this crap gear. So hopefully we sell our red Xeons. If we do, if we can get just 1 million Lant.
Guys, that's it, brilliant. Okay, really well done. Okay, we've known this is how this is what the bone is.
I think that's exactly what he meant.
In a short time, he's been at King's. He's had his entire blood volume replaced.
that's his last segment.
I do believe that's what he meant. He did say roughly. He probably just rounded it down.
Patients been in hospital for a while.
I haven't died. I've got some Xeons, so
But the vast majority of people we see die, it's completely unexpected.
it'd be nice to move on to the staff.
Brutally worse than speaking to writers once you know who they are.
But I'm not too fussed.
You go say,
I do like having the shield after all.
your husband or wife who charged your mother is dead.
So you just want to keep progressively improving your gear. Without Forge, we were actually down at like 70% at this point, and we were failing and deteriorating. So Forge is really helpful when you're just starting out. You could even save some of this stuff, fluff it all the way up to 30, and sell it for millions of Lant as a convenience item to a richer player making new characters. I will need to check my Xeons in a couple of days when they potentially expire. I wasn't looking at whether I even set the day on them. I did that on autopilot. We're all out. Okay. We'll just keep increasing these. They make us that little bit stronger. Oh, I got 3 viewers. Nice. Unfortunately, I am going to wrap this stream up soon, and I'll just do a little recap of everything that I've done. And yeah, that'll be it. It's getting pretty late. I've got to think about tomorrow. meditation. There's some magic. And another level up. Cool. We're catching up. Once we get to level 24, we'll implement some strategies to get some free battlefield points. Alright. So, I'm down a quest, aren't I? You can get rid of quests by selecting and then clicking abandon.
Staff are also beginning to piece together the identity of another by us. Name Theodore.
Alright, looks like I'm gonna have to grind a level out. The lights are flickering over there. Looks like we can equip this necklace straight away. I think so too. Okay, Novolux. This is Novolux. We have been here... not yet. This is one of the main maps in the game. You do a lot of things here, especially when you're at this level of the game and around these early levels, but you'll also bump into everyone else because there's stuff here for everyone. There were these traditional first quests in the game. They're really quite ignorable. They don't need to exist. They just take up unnecessary space. You'll often get somebody trying to sell something to you. This is a personal vendor. I can show you how to set that up later, it's pretty simple. Benefit of the personal vendor is you don't... Hello Neon Detective, welcome to the stream. Install it, play it, join us. You can join my guild, or one of my guilds. Which reminds me. Maybe somebody will add me to their guild. I don't care which guild. I'll be in a Russian guild, I don't mind. Man, there is a lot to talk about in Novolux, so I'm not going to get into everything. I believe I've got Happy Hour. We grabbed that. It's a level 1 quest that repeats twice a day. And it'll give you a 3-hour item. And it can be XP, it can be Lant drop, it can be battle points, and it can be item drop. And we will either go XP or item drop depending on what we want to do. And this is like the first thing we've had to pick up off the ground, so you just run up to these items and right click. Started playing again for fun with a friend. We played back in 2010, and ironically saw you put out vid same day we started again. So you started again and I just put out a vid. Underground is a Russian guild. Yeah, they are. I assume PvP and server versus server is no longer happening. I wasn't making videos in 2010, was I? No, I can't possibly have been. I was like 14. Okay, so PvP. PvP exists. Battlefield is still the way to go for the most part. You've got GVG and you've got... I mean, that was all the same before. There are areas in the game where PK is available, but it's not everywhere like it used to be. Well, mostly everywhere. So there are maps where you can just kill people and, you know, be cruel. And they are farm maps. Those SVS maps, they moved the portals for them to Novolux, and they're right here next to the portal. So one of them is a level 69 portal, and the other is a level 89 portal. I don't know if that's the actual level requirement for the 89 portal. And on those maps, it's basically the server versus server map, and you can go and kill anyone on that map, bar your own guildies, and you can start working on your PK points. You've also got PK available in... I'll use the map. You can PK in Dark Sanctum, Natchez Eye, in North Hammerine. It's a weird area to have PK, but it is available there. You were able to PK in Nightmare Crescent Dead Pit, but they have recently removed the Dead Pit from the game. It's still there, you just can't enter it, because basically somebody pointed out that there was no point, there's nothing to do in there except PK, and the developers listened and removed it. And I don't know why they listened, they could have just left it. I crashed. Right, well, fun thing about crashing is I can still look at the game and I can still... Wait, does that mean my frames have dropped? What happened to my dropped frames? I had like 600 drop frames. Now they've disappeared. It reset. Weird. Okay, Russian Guild. I never got that invite, did I? I haven't got invites turned off, have I? Off, off. Automatic registration. On, off, off. On. Off, 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 off. No. Looks good. Alright. Ah, I can't do that, I've crashed. Silly me. Okay, recap for later. I've put some accessories up for sale. I've put some red Xeons up for sale, and hopefully they'll all sell. We're in Novolux, where we're going to grab Happy Hour next time we're playing, which will help increase our what we're going to do. Whatever it is we're going to do, we're going to get more out of it with 30% XP or item drop or something like that. Did I even do my one-day click? It's not going to open for me, is it? I've been progressively increasing my gear. Forge is on, so you can now make your gear really strong. And if you're following my earlier streams, I went and grabbed the ETC level 10 gear so I could increase my armor early on, because I think that helps a lot. If you're fighting anything particularly harder, it'll help you survive until you can get level 20. We bought a I'll get to that. I bought a level 20 Ion set because it was all pretty cheap on AH at the start of the stream. So I have my level 20 armor ready to go, and that'll make me a lot stronger than I am right now, and I will be basically invulnerable on these early maps. Next time, I think the goal is Happy Hour, level up, go back and finish Tutorian's Way quest, and do any nightmare stuff, because that's important. And then when everything's truly done, we'll kiss Turbo goodbye, and everything will be in Harness, where we might do some scroll quests and questing. I'm not sure yet. There's a few quests that are important that I need to show off. Anyway, that's the recap. Do you have a tier list for starting classes? I guess for solo PvE. I absolutely do. That's why I started with Shaman. In my opinion, Shaman is the best early game character to play. I got some skill points to spend. And that's because they have really simple gameplay. Mages are generally stronger. You can increase your damage with DNA and skill points very easily. You've got 4 AoEs. Once you get to level 40, you'll have 4 AoEs, which is really handy. You've also got access to some of the earliest groupings of AoEs, heals, even a HP buff, which is really handy. As long as you remember that later you'll want to reset your skills and not use most of these skills when you get to the later levels. Otherwise, Templar. Templar is my second favourite beginner class. There is a more in-depth guide for beginners coming out on Fury's Discord server. I can show you a little bit of that right now.
You know, so getting them out of A&E alive is only.
Where is it?
That's the best bit.
My tired eyes are failing.
Obviously, there's no guarantee that they're still going to live.
You care. You've got to show you care.
Requiem tutorials. I think this is for everyone. Is it for everyone? I see all these people in it. So don't know. He's been working for quite some time on a in-depth guide on the Discord server. You've got like steps 1, getting started, download, account creation, login. Then you talk about the races. This has been ticked for now, so, and it'll go through everything, item mall, how to play, PB, honor points, stuff, a lot of stuff that I've already covered in my quicker guides. These are a bit more simplified. I plan to do a review on these at one point. You can click on this bot here and click Tyrants and it'll give you, I heard, and it'll give you, I just need to end this stream, I'm like right on the end, that's all. And it'll give you a huge description of classes. This is pretty huge and it's pretty fancy, and he's even gone out of his way to take images from the game and clean them up and put them with everything. And he'll mention somewhere, although it doesn't seem like he's mentioned it here, which classes he prefers. He shows it with this. So best solo job for Tyrants is Tempest. That's his opinion. I agree. And that's because of how well. No worries. I'll be gone in a sec anyway. Yeah, Tempest and Mystic are the best classes. So Shaman that turns into Mystic and Templar that turns into Tempest are the best classes for soloing the game in PvE fashion. Alright, cool. And that was everything. Alright, tune in next time and let's talk about what I think of hunters, because I've gotten in trouble for expressing my opinions before on hunters. I like them, but they have their flaws. Alright, that's it for now. Until next time, good night, and yeah, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate all the viewers.